Uh, from herbalhealthreview.com, Dr. Truman Berst and discussions in health. And without any further ado, let's turn it over to Dr. Truman. Dr. Truman, how are you?
I am blessed, Paul, and I know you are as well. And hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us.
Excellent. Well, I have nothing that is even remotely as important to say as you do, so I'm going to just turn the whole thing over to you.
All right, and I want to thank you, Paul, for being the moderator and for your kindness and all the good things that you do. This is Bishop Dr. Truman Berst from Good Shepherd Ministries since 1999, and before that, since 1961, coming to you, praising and worshiping and thanking uh, uh, the Most High God in Jesus Christ's name. In Jesus Christ's name, we praise, we worship, we thank you, the Most High God, and we do that in Jesus Christ's name, Yoshea. So be it. We receive, receive, receive your love and your mercy, your complete, your continuous, your endless, and your limitless blessing. For the glory and for the victory of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit in Jesus Christ's name, we receive, we receive. We receive healings here for the sick. We receive healings for those in need. For the glory and for the victory of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, we receive, receive, receive. So be it. Let's visit with the Bible here for a moment. Then we're going to open up the microphones over there in the dial pad meetings room, and of course we'll invite anyone here on Jitsi and any of the other rooms if you are able to let us know what your questions are, what you'd like to learn. That's what we do here. We're spontaneous. We don't plan a particular thing we're going to talk about so much as we are asking people what they want to learn, what they want to talk about. So that being said, let's open the broadcast here with a prayer as we always do. We're in Leviticus. The reason we're in Leviticus is answering the question that people are always asking me. The question that people are always asking me is, what should I be eating? What shouldn't I eat? Well, God answers that question, and here's the answer. Leviticus 7:18, the unacceptable offerings. And if any of the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings be eaten at all on the third day, it shall not be accepted, neither shall it be imputed unto him that offer it. It shall be an abomination, and the soul that eateth of it shall bear his iniquity. 19. 7, Leviticus 7:19. And the flesh that toucheth any unclean shall not be eaten. It shall be burnt with fire. And as for the flesh, all that be clean shall eat thereof. But the soul that eateth of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings that pertain unto the Lord, having his uncleanness upon him, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. 21. Moreover, the soul that shall touch any unclean thing, as the uncleanness of man, or any unclean beast, or any abominable unclean thing, and eat of that flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings which pertain unto the Lord, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. Eating fat or blood is forbidden. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel saying, Ye shall eat no manner of fat of ox, or of sheep, or of goat, and the fat of the beast that dieth of itself, and the fat of that which is torn with beasts may be used in any other use, but ye shall in no wise eat of it. 25. For whosoever eateth the fat of the beast, of which men offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, even the soul that eateth it shall be cut off from his people. Moreover, ye shall eat no manner of blood, whether it be of fowl or of beast, in any of your dwellings. Whatsoever soul be it be that eateth any manner of blood, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. And 28, the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying that he that offer the sacrifice of his peace offerings unto the Lord shall bring his oblation unto the Lord of the sacrifice of his peace offerings. His own hands shall bring the offerings of the Lord made by fire, the fat with the breast. It shall he bring, that the beast may be waved for a wave offering before the Lord. And the priest shall burn the fat upon the altar, but the breast shall be Aaron's and his sons, and the right shoulder shall ye give unto the priest for an heave offering of the sacrifices of your peace offerings. 33. He among the sons of Aaron that offereth the blood of the peace offerings, and the fat shall have the right shoulder for his part. For the wave breast and the heave shoulder have I taken of the children of Israel from off the sacrifices of their peace offerings, and have given them unto Aaron and priest unto his sons by a statute forever from among the children of Israel. This is the portions of the anointing of Aaron and the anointing of his sons out of the offerings of the Lord made by fire in the day when he presented them to minister unto the Lord in the priest's office, which 36, which the Lord commanded to be given them of the children of Israel in the day that he anointed them by a statute forever throughout their generations. 37. This is the law of the burnt offering, of the meat offering, and of the sin offering, and of the trespass offering, and of the consecrations, and of the sacrifice of the peace offerings. 38. Which the Lord commanded Moses in Mount Sinai in the day that he commanded the children of Israel to offer their oblations unto the Lord in the wilderness of Sinai. In Jesus Christ's name, so be it. All praises to the Most High. So we will continue with Leviticus because it gets into exactly what should be eaten and what shouldn't be eaten. But that being said, does anyone have a question, a comment, a suggestion, what we should talk about today? Is anyone over there, Sharon, or does anyone else have a question, a topic, or a suggestion? I'm looking for people to raise their hand. I don't see any hands raised. There is a hand raised there. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
I hear you 10 by 10.
So I don't have to talk any louder than this?
No, sir, you're 10 by 10.
All right. So, as far as what we're supposed to eat and not eat, that's quite a topic. And I think we could go into it a tiny bit further. I will note that I was brought up amongst people that had Jewish customs. Therefore, they didn't believe in eating milk or cheese and meat in the same meal. It was not proper for them. But however, they would eat carbohydrates and flesh products, unknowingly destroying their health. Therefore, the Jewish people don't live long necessarily. Matter of fact, a lot of people don't live long as they did in the scriptures hundreds of years. And some people say, well, that's an allegory. They lived hundreds of years. Well, maybe not. What if they actually did live longer until after 300 AD? And what if the way you eat your foods or the order in which you eat your foods might be more important than just eating, period? I read some books that explained to me that the man called Jesus Christ said, do not eat of the burnt and frozen foods, for the burnt and frozen foods promote death. Living foods promote life, and to eat them in their season, in your location. I'm ad-libbing, of course. I am not reading. Quite remarkable, actually, that he would have said so many things in the health field. But if you studied further than the scriptures, you'll find out that there was a lot more to the man called Jesus Christ than just what most people read. He was very much into health. As a matter of fact, when he came back after the long time of them never writing about him, that was his basic thing, to heal people. He was a great, great healer. And that sure made a mark when people realized what he was able to do. Put mud on the eyes, you remember?
Oh, yes.
We're getting off topic, but that clay is what we're talking about. Yes, I tell you amazing things. But what the order which you eat your food is so important, and to eat fresh, living foods. All that comes in packages, containers, bottles in the stores, mostly it's a lie. It is acidic, which actually sets your whole body up for disease instead of alkaline. And then when our organization, one of them that I'm associated with, checked all the water because they needed very high pH water, they went and got Walmart's bottled 9.5 pH water. When they checked it, they couldn't use it because it was 4.5. They're not to be trusted, and they got it from other venues. I don't have it in front of me again, the actual places they purchased it to get what they needed to be able to manufacture something in their labs. So what we're buying in the stores is pretty not good. It is not only not good, it's actually harmful. And you can get into that, Dr. Truman. Obviously, I will tell one little story. When I questioned a manager in the grocery department at the Walmart in particular, and he explained to me that when they get a shipment of, say, red bell peppers that are organic, they actually check the energy of that organics upon shipment. And if it isn't high enough, they send it back. They're not paying for stuff that they're not getting. And the people have no idea the difference between an organic banana and other bananas, even though they're only 5 cents more. The taste is completely different for 20 years. If you try, by the way, how many different kinds of bananas does anybody think there are? Oh, yeah, more than 50 kinds of bananas. Most people don't even know that, but that's off subject. The sweet potatoes are the difference between an organic sweet potato and a non-organic sweet potato is totally different to taste. You can check it and see. You will always want an organic sweet potato, and you can live on sweet potatoes if you didn't have anything else. And they're easy to grow, organic sweet potatoes, and they grow bigger than footballs. How do I know? Because I grow them. You can get them to grow that. What I will say is, Dr. Truman, I'll give you a guess. One guess. How many different kinds of organic sweet potatoes do you think there are?
Probably quite a few. I
All
guess
right.
maybe 100.
How about over 300 from one
There you
company?
go. A lot.
Interesting, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, very.
You've seen all the different types. Go ahead.
What we were trying to do is we were trying to get a list of topics that we could talk about.
All right.
We didn't want to go right into all the topics, so pick one of the ones. I mean, all of the topics that you gave were fascinating, completely.
Well, the order in which
just pick a good one and keep it on the cuff while we fill in the list. Connect all the other dots, and then we'll come back to you. Okay, Edward? Okay. Now, if anyone else has a specific health concern or a topic or a question for Dr. Truman, just go ahead and please unmute yourself right now, and we'd be happy to get you on the list of today's events.
Couple questions.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, Dr. Berst. Paul, I'm still trying to figure this screen out, but I guess I can come in another time and try to figure it out because I'm under Doc Truman's screen and I don't know how to get all that other stuff that you got. All this is Jitsi is new, so bear with me. The questions really that I have, Dr. Berst, is a couple. Pygeum bark and quack grass, those are all good for prostate. And Pygeum bark, is that like saw palmetto? And can you take them all at the same time?
You said put Pygeum bark, and then what was the other one?
Quack grass.
Quack grass.
Quack, like a duck, quack grass.
Yeah. Quack grass. I wanted to make sure and get that because that's not a commonly known herb.
Okay. I have an herbal book, so it's listed in that book. It's for enlarged prostate.
Okay.
So
let's look at quack grass. Let's take a look at this. I always love these herbs that surface. Quack grass.
Quack, yeah.
Benefits. Okay, let's go take a look at quack grass. Oops. I need to spell here. Okay. That's another E over here. There we go. Let's take a look at quack grass benefits. It's also called couch.
Okay.
So couch grass. So couch grass root is taken by mouth. It's used for constipation, for cough, for bladder, for swellings, inflammation, for fever, high blood pressure, and kidney stones. Couch grass That's why I didn't know. But it's also, let's see, couch grass. Let's take a look here. Let's go down a little bit further, actually, than that.
It's also used to treat water retention too, isn't it?
Yes, it's a diuretic. So here we go. We're getting a little closer here to this is what I wanted to look at. Couch grass. And it also has the name twitch grass and quick grass and quitch grass and dog grass and quack grass and scutch grass and even witch grass. So, but the botanical name for all of those common names is Elamus repens, and it comes from Europe and Asia and Africa, and the parts used are roots. And couch grass is a powerful diuretic. Paul was hit it right on the head, and it has a soothing, anti-inflammatory, healing effect on the lining of the bladder. It is rich in mucilage and volatile oils and polysaccharides, which are considered the active ingredients of this herb, couch grass. The sugar compounds which are released on contact with water in the body soothe the mucosa throughout the body, especially in the urinary tract. One of these compounds is triticin, Triticin, which is a polysaccharide related to inulin, which makes up around 8% of the herb. It is this compound that makes it a good remedy for mild cystitis. When certain sugar compounds are released into the urinary tract, the bacteria that cause cystitis are attracted to these compounds, causing them to release their hold on the urethra. As long as lots of water is drunk alongside the herb, this can help flush the disease-causing bacteria out of the urinary tract. As a diuretic, couch grass, which is the most common name, couch grass assists the kidneys in clearing out waste and salt and excess water by increasing urine production. This also inhibits microbial growth in the urinary system. It even helps respiratory health. Couch grass is an expectorant herb that helps to alleviate irritating coughs, bronchitis, laryngitis. It's in its I did that. Okay. I wanted to make sure I shared screen, and I have done that. But it helps with all these laryngitis. It has a soothing effect on the mucosa, and especially in the chest, which can make it effective in clearing catarrhal congestion. It can also be used as a gargle to provide relief from sore throats, laryngitis, and tonsillitis. It's rich in silica. The silica content has a healing effect on the lungs, making this herb useful after chest infections. It also helps in digestive health. When animals seek out grasses to ease digestive problems, their top choice is always couch grass. The rich mucilage content of the rhizome provides digestive benefits to humans too. Most mucilage is not broken down by the human digestive system. It absorbs toxins from the bowel, and it also gives bulk to stools, which in turn can lower bowel transit time. Mucilage also protects against ingested toxins and bacteria, helps to regulate intestinal flora, relaxes and soothes via the endodermal lining of the gut, and protects against gastric acidity. And it even helps the liver. Couch grass, rhizome.
Before we go into the liver, your screen that you're looking at, you have a smaller screen, a copy of the screen that you're sharing. Is that the monitor window for the dial pad meetings? The shared screen for that? Can you drag that off of your screen?
No,
The
that's
small
not,
one on the lower
no,
right.
it has nothing to do with dial pad at all. Dial pad is on a separate computer.
Well, I wonder what's doing that because it's coming through in the meeting.
I don't know.
Can you hover your mouse over it and see if you have the ability to move it? Just hover your mouse over it, your mouse pointer over that.
Yeah, I've hovered my mouse. Okay, I've clicked on, and I clicked on it. It's larger now. It's full screen now, and I click on it, and it's still full screen.
That's
What
really
can I do?
strange.
What can I do with this thing?
That's really, really strange.
Yeah. I'm
Because
used to every broadcast is always something strange going on.
yeah,
You know?
well, what we're doing is we're trying to work the bugs out of it, and we will eventually.
Iron
Yes.
out the wrinkles.
Paul, you're definitely the right guy for that job.
You're too kind.
So,
Um, okay, well, I'm just hoping that it's not going to wind up covering another part of your shared screen because we can't see anything that's on the right side of your
maybe
screen.
I'm okay. Now, how's that?
No.
I toggled it. I toggled the view. I'm way up in the corner.
No. Well, I wonder where that's coming from. It's weird.
Should I toggle the view again?
Okay, can you see folklore and history, the natural health guide? Are you looking at that screen?
No, I don't see that. Folks, yeah, that is my that's my left computer screen. Yes.
Okay, so you've got a little window down in that. Yeah, just click on the top of that, drag and hold, and drag it off to the other monitor.
Okay, it's
Click
back over
and
here.
hold, and then drag it.
Okay,
There you go.
Okay, there you go.
There, excellent.
Oh, that's all. Oh, okay.
And if your voice gets a little stressed, I can read anything you want me to read as well. So
Oh, okay. All right.
Just throwing that out there.
Great. Okay. Well, hey, I'm glad we figured that one out.
Thank you, Doc.
So getting to the last of this couch grass thing, we talked about digestive health. We talked about respiratory health. Sister Teresa brought up a absolutely famous and wonderful herb that has all these incredible benefits for the bladder and the urinary tract. So couch grass, whatever name you want to call it, it's Elymus repens, Elymus repens. That is the botanical name of the correct species of that plant. But the last thing we were going to talk about is liver health. And liver health, couch grass, the rhizome. It contains inositol, a compound that prevents the accumulation of fat and cholesterol in the liver. Studies have found that inositol can help to prevent fatty liver disease, especially if it's used in conjunction with choline. That's why you always hear choline and inositol practically in the same word. But so the liver health as well. So it's just an incredible herb. The folklore and the history of couchgrass, it's used in herbal medicine since the times of the ancient Greeks and Romans. Couchgrass was traditionally used as a diuretic and to expel gravel from the bladder. Its sweet tasting root has also been used as a coffee substitute and to make meal and mixed with wheat flour in times of scarcity. In the 17th century, an herbalist by the name of Culpeper had this to say about this tome, the complete herbal. He said, the most medicinal of all quick grasses, the roots of it act powerfully by urine. They should be dried and powdered. For the decoction by water is too strong for the tender stomachs. Therefore, should be sparingly used when given that way to children to destroy worms. The way of use is to bruise the roots.
Braise.
To bruise the roots.
Braise. No?
To bruise the roots, you're pounding on them, you're bruising them, and then you having them well boiled. You boil them in white wine, and you drink the decoction. It's opening, but it's not purging. It's very safe. It is a remedy against all diseases coming of and stopping, and such are half those that are incident to the body of man. And although a gardener be of another opinion, yet a physician holds half an acre of them to be worth 5 acres of carrots twice told over. So that's from the 17th century, the words of a famous herbalist by the name of Culpeper. Finally, the traditional use has been considered by gardeners as an annoying weed. Couchgrass has long been valued by herbalists for its mucilage-rich rhizome. It has been used for thousands of years to treat water retention, bladder issues, kidney infections, and kidney stones, sore throats, and to clear congestion. This is the grass that domestic dogs and cats seek out as medicine, with animals instinctively knowing which plants and grasses are naturally beneficial to them. It is also known as dog grass for this reason. Typical use, couchgrass tincture can be added to water or fruit juice and taken when required. In other words, use it as much as you need to. Traditionally, you're taking 2 to 3 milliliters, taken 2 to 3 times per day, as directed by an herbal practitioner. The constituents of couchgrass contains carbohydrates 10%, including tryptophan 3 to 8%, a polysaccharide related to inulin, inositol, mannitol, and mucilage 10%. Volatile oil 0.01 to 0.05%. Agropyrene, flavonoids, trypsin, cyanogenic, glycosides, saponins, vanillicide, vanillin, monoglucoside, very small amounts, and vanillin and phenyl carboxylic acids, silicic acid, and silicates. That's the constituents of couch grass. The precautions in this herb: if you are pregnant or breastfeeding, please consult your healthcare practitioner before using couch grass. So that's it for couch grass, which is a fantastic herb. Thank you for bringing that herb up to us. And yes, a couch grass is an herb. Let's go see if it's something that COUCH, couch, GRASS, couch grass. See if it comes up. Couch grass, there it is. Couch grass, aka dog grass. It's available cut and sifted. It's available as a powder. It's also available as a liquid extract, couch grass. So there you have it. Charissa, did you have any other question? I think the question was about Pygeum, and all of this question was probably related to Pygeum and couch grass. This
Enlarged prostate.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Enlarged prostate. If a person can use the saw palmetto in addition to the Pygeum bark.
Absolutely. And including, so you can use saw palmetto, you can use Pygeum, you can also use that couch grass, and when there, and you can also, but when there's inflammation, you also want to use turmeric and and boswellia. So let's go and visit prostate inflammation. Let's visit that for a moment.
Okay, one other question on that particular one. Then I have another, of course. So if the prostate is enlarged, then that would the result of that could also be less urine produced and frequent urination.
Yes, because it would the inflammation is going to impede the ability to urinate. And so, yes, it's going to be a side effect of the problem.
But not less urine.
But yeah, there's not going to be any less or any more.
Well, there's less urine is like at a time. So
that's
if
right.
The person is at a time, if they're urinating, but they're just urinating a little bit, and then 10 minutes later, some more and some more, then that is less, but it's
less, but it's constant.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're bringing up.
I have another one about tendinosis, but we'll get to that when you get done with this.
Okay. All right. So number one, colloidal silver water would be one of the safest antibiotics you can take. So I'd be sipping on colloidal silver water to bring down that swollen prostate.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
And we'd also be making certain that you're taking acidophilus, and like one with about 10 strains with about a 50 billion strength per capsule. And you'd be taking, because you've got to take so many other antibiotics. Golden seal would be another good one to take because it doesn't destroy any of your friendly bacteria. So that would be golden seal root. Go ahead.
So those are probiotics. Am I correct?
No, golden seal root is not a probiotic, but you want to take probiotics. You want to take a probiotic. There's going to be about 10 different strains and about 50 billion strength. And you're going to want to, and if there's any kind of fungus or fungus on the feet, jock itch, anything like that, then you're going to want to take that probiotic 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night, until it's gone. which it'll go pretty quickly. But then stay with one, whenever it's gone and there is no fungal infection whatsoever, then stay on one every morning. Stay on it. But yes, the colloidal silver water, and then one of the natural antibiotics, natural antibiotics again, is golden seal root. And that's going to be a very safe, but you want to be careful what golden seal root is. When it kills off the bacteria, the infection, and all of a sudden that person feels wonderful. They feel so good they can't sleep at night. If you give them the golden seal at night, they won't be able to sleep. They feel they're awake. They're great. They don't have anything bothering them, because the infection's gone. So you want to take that golden seal during the day, and then maybe some other natural anti-inflammatories and so forth, even throughout the day and at night, but not the golden seal at night. And you want to clean out the liver and make sure that, and the colon and the bloodstream, making sure that the bowel movements are kept soft. And that's that CAC liquid number 1078. That's going to help to keep that colon cleaned out. And we're only taking enough to make sure that the bowel movement is so soft it breaks up in a cloud. And somebody said something there, flashed me something, but I wasn't quick enough. It flashed on and off. Anyway, okay. And when you're doing that kind of a cleansing, it's a good idea to use a fiber powder that has bentonite clay in it. And that's that Truman Special fiber with bentonite clay. So now you're cleaning out the liver, and you're getting rid of toxins and debris and so forth, but then you're absorbing everything with that special fiber and the bentonite clay. So a good cleansing program, and you continue to do that as long as you need it, and as long as there's inflammation, continue to make sure that bowel movement is kept soft and that you're using a fiber powder. And the best time to use that fiber powder is 2 hours before dinner. Do not mix your fiber powder with all your vitamins and a power drink and so forth. Don't do that, because that fiber powder is going to absorb everything that it can. It's going to even absorb the moisture in the digestive tract. You're going to have another glass of water after you have the water, juice, or tea, and you put your fiber powder in there, you stir it up, and you drink it down before it gels. When it gels, then it's going to slide through the body, and it's going to absorb everything, including the moisture in the bowel. So you want to be sure that you are drinking another glass of water so you're not dehydrated. But that's the way to use it. Use it 2 hours before dinner on an empty stomach. That way you're not absorbing any medicine. You're not absorbing any of your supplements or nutrients. It's alone. It's by itself. It's on an empty stomach. It's before dinner. And then 2 hours later, you have dinner and everything is fine. But that's the way to take that bentonite clay. Not the bentonite clay, I mean the Truman's fiber with bentonite clay. Then there's a prostate support tincture. And prostate support tincture. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to click on it and open it up in another tab, because all of these links are alive, and all of these links, people can click on it, and it takes them over to the manufacturer that makes it. And we get nothing from the sale of any product, because we're not selling products. We're teaching what to use and where to get it. So in this case, let's open this link in a new tab. And we are opening it right there. Where is it? That clicked open real quick. I think this is it right about here. Is that it? No, there it goes. So we're going to look at a prostate herbal compound. And this compound has organic pumpkin seed. It has pygeum bark. It has saw palmetto berries. It has strawberry leaf, sassafras bark, sarsaparilla root, echinacea root, and garlic root, all in this one tincture. That is a great formulation that's combining saw palmetto berries and pygeum and a lot of other things besides.
Excuse me, what is that called again, sir?
That is called, it's called PRSTE. The government does not want you to know that PRSTE means prostate. We named it prostate, but the government says you can't say that because we got to remember this. All of these formulations were banned by the government, so that's why they. And then when we brought them back and even though they weren't supposed to be banned, they said you can't call them this, you can't call them that. So we could never name them to where you could actually understand what they're good for, and that's what the evil government FDA does. Shame on them.
The number on that, sir?
And that is number 1354. Number 1354. Okay. And did you have any other question, Sister Teresa?
Yes, sir. Just one more question here. Tendinosis and acromial arthritis of the shoulder and clavicle. Glucosamine. Would that be something that a person could use for that?
Glucosamine and chondroitin would be good for all kinds of arthritic, all kinds of inflammation, all kinds of situations like that. And when you're talking about tendinosis, we're talking about tendon that is inflamed. Let's go take a look at the tendinosis. I got to spell this right too. All right, here we go. Tendinitis is what it's going to be. Tendinitis. And where is the tendon? Where is it? In the knee, in the foot, in the elbow, in the ankle? Where's that tendon?
Shoulder.
Okay. Tendinosis. Well, it's not going to give us shoulder, but we're going to wait a minute. And it's going to be called tendinitis in this case. Okay, so we're going for tendinitis, and we're going to go for specific shoulder. That's HOULDER. And so so that, and that might even be in the rotator cuff, in the shoulder. And
an ultrasound. They did an ultrasound on it.
Yeah. So let's tendinitis. Let's go for this. Let's go this way. Okay. So, Edward would be piling a bentonite clay on it. Is that right, Edward?
Oh, I have several comments for both of these things. I was just letting you do, but we can address that. I also want to address stage 4 prostate cancer and what to do in an emergency situation if they're like really far gone and how to fix it, okay? As far as the shoulder, let's say it was Diane and she got slammed by a tractor trailer in the back of her SUV and she was in so much pain. I never knew it. She was going to the chiropractor, but he never took x-rays. So I got her to another chiropractor and he never took x-rays. Turns out when I got her a top-notch lawyer, happened to be on Wilshire Boulevard, now she got a surgeon to look at it, and he tells her, your shoulder's been broken all this time, and nobody ever took x-rays. I can't even operate on it. If I operate on it, you will most likely be paralyzed. Now, of course, I promised Diane I would get her out of pain, and I would find out how. Now, I already knew acupuncture was going to do it intuitively. I knew this long before it ever happened. I didn't tell you that I got a phone call from Nate Jackson from Georgia. And he said, I got this and I just got out of meetings, and in 1 to 5 minutes, everybody's out of pain. It's non-transdermal. Nothing goes in the body. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about, but if you can get Diane out of pain, I will help you no matter what it is if you show me that she's not in pain naturally. Well, they took me up on it. They came from Georgia out to the San Fernando Valley. There were 45 people in the living room and a lot of people standing in the foyer with me because there were no more seats. That was it. I invited Colonel Boyer, who ran the United States Marines for 12 years, special ops, and fought in 50 wars we don't even know the names of. He already lost 3 hips. Basically, he needed 2 more hip surgeries, and he was on 180 milligrams of morphine a day, 360. And to make a long story short, he tried to leave twice. And then I heard everybody whisper, patch him up, patch him up. Well, I didn't know what was going on because I didn't know anything. Within 5 minutes, that man was out of pain. And it was mind-blowing. And he come up and stand up and walked over to me and says, I don't effing believe this. He whispers in my ear, I'm not in any pain. Because everybody asked him, what's your pain level at now? He was in no pain. He carried his child out. He came in on crutches, 285 pounds. And it continued every day. But I heard Diane yell out, oh, I can go kayaking. I can move my arm all around. I couldn't believe it. I got to tell you something. I was in cloud 9. She couldn't lift a hand extended in front of her past the 10 o'clock position forever. The next morning, she says, look, honey, I can pick up the iron. She couldn't pick up anything before. And on the way to Beverly Hills to the therapist, she was driving. She turned her head to me and she says, at the light, you have no idea what it's like that I could turn my head now after 2 years of not being able to turn my head all the way on both sides. No more pain. How amazing is that? So that being said, yes, we can address the pain no matter what it is naturally without toxic pain meds that come in every shape, size, and form. They interfere with the healing process. All of those pain meds are garbage. I don't care if it's Tylenol, acetaminophen, buffered this or buffered that, Aleve, or oxycodone, oxycontin. It interferes with the antenna to your creator, which is your bones, and it rots your bones. It says on every label on those containers in light blue and white, so you can't read it, do not take more than 2 weeks. You're destroying your life. All those pain meds are destructive to everybody's life, and it interferes with the healing process on stage 4, everything. The way they take people when they're on stage 4, which is what I deal with, anybody that has serious problems and somebody's dying, coming in the hospital and gets sent home to hospice, palliative care, that's when I step in and I do what I know how to do, and no one has to die of disease. First of all, you want to get them out of pain. You want to use the clay around the shoulder. You want to pile it on with gauze to get it built up and put cellophane and wrap it. Leave it on for 12 hours at a time and 12 hours off. That'll pull out all the scar tissue that builds up. Scar tissue is made of heavy metals. Whether it's on the skin as a scab and then turns to a scar, or internally, it's still made of heavy metals. The clay pulls all the heavy metals out of the body from inside out. It draws all the blood to the area, reoxygenates it, and pulls out the heavy metals and expedites the healing because of the newfound oxygen and blood that's supplied.
It pulls it out through the skin, right?
Right through the skin. They call it the epidermis, the largest organ in the body. You can add a heating pad to it. It seems to affect it. But if you do it 12 hours on, 12 hours, air it out, back on again, at least 2 or 3, 4 times. For diabetic neuropathy, has to be done at least twice, and everybody will be up walking around, and all of that diabetic neuropathy will abate. But, Dr. Truman, you had me talk to Cleo and, no, not Cleo, a couple of other people, and they just called me and told me they took the bath with the clay, and instead of drinking it or doing anything with it right away, and had the most astonishing relief. We'll get them back on the show with their diabetic neuropathy up their legs and in their feet just from doing the bath. So now they're doing everything even better.
Cool.
Go ahead, say something. Yes.
Alan, if you could please turn off your camera. We're going out to over a dozen platforms. We've got a lot of people connected to the room. We don't have the bandwidth to be using cameras. So, Doc Truman, your camera's okay. You can leave that. That's fine. And your shared screen, that's fine. It's just anybody that's just sitting here in the room, don't have your camera on, and please be muted if you're not talking. Thank you.
All right. So if the person's in pain, we can use 2 little patches. They will go one on the outside of the shoulder and one on the base of the neck, an ice wave, and it'll cut off the pain. And many a times I had people that just had ghost pains and it never came back. That means you don't even need them anymore. But if you need them, you just put them on. Does that fix it completely? No, but it sure stops the inflammation immediately. That's what acupuncture does. You don't need needles. This is better than needles. And you can do amazing things. So many different, if Dr. Truman, acupuncture, tell the people how long it's been around.
Ancient, thousands of years.
Okay, so what if there was a way you didn't need needles, which is invasive, and this works better, and you could teach it to acupuncture doctors, everybody. This is simple. It really works, and it's amazing. And when you get into the study of it, it's mind-blowing. Everybody that comes in front of me in pain, I don't care what happened to them, I'm able to get them out of pain, almost 9 out of 10 of them. If they're really toxic or they're on any kind of pain meds, which interferes with the frequency of the meridians, I have to let them stop taking the morphine for at least 24 hours, like I told Colonel Boyer. He was in so much pain, he tried to leave twice. But afterwards, he carried his son all the way out to the street in the car, which is like 300 feet. He literally, the next day, he woke up and Laura said he didn't even have to roll over to inject the morphine, crawl to the bathroom, and then go crawl to the couch and spend the rest of the day on the couch. She said he got up like a man, walked in the bathroom, took a whiz, and sat down on his son Gunner's bed and took him and dressed him for school and paid 5 bills that day. She said it's mind-blowing. Absolutely, she'd never seen no one's ever seen anything like this until you witness it for yourself. So
that's amazing. Is it also anti-inflammatory?
That's exactly why the pain goes away. Let's say you're in very bad pain in your back. I can teach you how to do this. Everybody needs to learn how to do these things. This is not something that Edward is the only one that needs to know. Okay, this is all really simple. Everything you're being taught is simple.
Excellent.
So let's simplify it. If you were in pain, I can go directly to the pain and knock that pain out. If I need a little help, like they did with Colonel Boyer that day, I can go and put 2 energy enhancers on your kidney 1 meridian at the bottom of your feet and one on the back of your neck on your CV7 when you put your chin into your chest. The one on the bottom of your neck will stick out. And I can put an Aeon on there, and your whole body might be out of pain just with that. But it certainly enhances the other ones. And I'll have your pain down to a 2 or 3 from a 10, but usually it's 0 for me.
That is outstanding.
I'm very fortunate in how the results I get every time.
That is outstanding. Let's look at some things that the viewers can do closer, and be sure before the end of the show, be sure to give your contact information so you can hook people up with those.
What I'd like to say is about the prostate cancer stage 4.
Okay.
First of all, the prostate cancer, it's usually a bacterium stone, which you talked about bacteria that polymerizes itself. And now if you try to free it, it's going to act up and swell up and all of this stuff. one of the things you want to consider is large amounts of vitamin C added to your situation. Let's say you had, severe prostate cancer, not just a block cancer. We can arrange it that you get an IV in large amounts of vitamin C, and it is very famous in correcting that situation. I just take it internally, large amounts of vitamin C. I make a drink, sip it all day long. We're going to have some capsules made to make things easy for people, and that'll be nice too. But in the meantime, you must, if you have any type of serious inflammation, if there's any possibility of cancer at all, vitamin C is a super antioxidizer.
Cool.
So it helps to oxidize it's one of those biooxidative therapies that every single person that has cancer, if you check them, which they don't, to check their vitamin C levels, which they don't, you'll see they're either scurvy or practically scurvy.
Yeah.
Once you raise the vitamin C levels in the body, you're changing everything. You're making the cell wall soft and easy to respirate, and you're reoxygenating the body. It changes to hydrogen peroxide in the body, which is what your immune system puts out.
Okay,
Same thing
well,
when you put
we're
ozone.
about halfway through the show right now, and
right.
we've got a lot of material to cover on the antioxidant foods and things. I want to turn it back over to Doc.
Raise your vitamin D3 levels on that. The vitamin C and vitamin 3, along with everything else. And if you have serious pain, like a person that's dying and they're on oxycodone, morphine, they're sent home to die, you contact me and we can fix that.
We're not here to treat, diagnose, prevent, or cure any disease. We're sharing information
right. But we can
on
recommend
herbal
what
remedies.
they get. We can recommend what they get, because if you use any of their pain meds, they're just going to continue with their disease moving forward and going downhill. You must address it differently. There is no other way to fix people when they're dying than to change the way they do things. It's okay.
Okay. We're here to share information on herbal support for your perfect health. Not here to treat, diagnose, prevent, or cure any disease, and this program should not be considered medical advice. Please consult your own professional sources. I'm sure many of you, the professional sources, Doc Truman, but consult your own professional sources before acting on anything presented here. Doc Truman, I really can't wait to hear about anti-inflammatory foods. Let's go.
Anti-inflammatory foods. What you eat, that's the foundation of what you are. And Edward, he's talking about vitamin C, and all of the miraculous things that higher doses of vitamin C, not just 500 milligram a day, but let's get that up, because you'll notice big difference when you start getting 2,000 3 times a day, and you're getting at least 6,000 milligrams of vitamin C. So
I take 10,000, and sometimes, if I feel necessary, 30,000 in a day slowly.
Yeah, it's
personally, I do that.
It's anti-inflammatory. So what I'm doing is saying that you're right, Edward, in your approach, and that's why you get good results. And we deeply appreciate what you bring here. The anti-inflammatory foods that you regularly eat should include all types of vegetables, especially green leafy kinds. The veggies are loaded with antioxidants, and it's going to help tendinitis. It's going to help any kind of inflammation. We're talking about veggies that are loaded with antioxidants that fight oxidative stress, one of the primary causes of inflammation. And try to make half your plate of cooked or raw veggies with every meal, and aiming to regularly include the kinds of of vegetables like kale, broccoli, spinach, and other green, leafy, and cruciferous vegetables are especially high antioxidant foods, loaded with vitamin C and vitamin K and minerals. But they have to be organic. Oh, because we're not talking about what you get. If it's not organic, it's not going to have these values. So you can't just say, well, I'm going to run to the store and get some vegetables, and it's not going to work that way in these times. So make certain that you're buying organically grown food that has in it what it's supposed to be in it. But high quality clean proteins are very important to help repair broken down tissue throughout the body. Protein deficiency can cause weakness and delayed recovery. Fatigue can cause fatigue and bodily pains when you don't get enough protein. A good rule of thumb is try to get at least 4 to 5 ounces of quality protein per meal. Some of the best choices, which include the most easily utilized amino acids, are organic and lean proteins like wild-caught fish, which is a great source of anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids. I would not include raw dairy. You just leave dairy out of the picture completely, and limit the amount of eggs that you eat as well. But you want and no beef, no grass-fed beef. Leave beef out as well. Let's get more. Let's get more into, if you're going to have some wild-caught fish. That's great. Organic lean proteins. That's what you're talking about there. And you're going to be able to utilize all that wonderful proteins in wild-caught fish. A great source of anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids as well. Benefits. Another benefit of these foods is that most they pack zinc. They're beef and pumpkin seeds, but again beef. So instead of beef, let's get the pumpkin seeds. Let's leave the meat alone because there's too many takeaways from eating beef. So eat it scarcely. If you do, you're going to want to make sure you get grass-fed beef and not very much of it. So if you're a beef eater, but another benefit of these kinds of foods is things. Also, spinach is high in zinc, and these zinc benefits include tissue development and repair. Zinc is in the tissue development and repair business. So if you've got a bad shoulder and you need some tissue development and repair, don't leave out the zinc. About 50 milligrams one time daily. And remember, the prostate is mainly made of zinc. So make sure and get that zinc in your diet. And berries are packed with vitamin C. Berries are wonderful. They help with rebuilding collagen, an essential component of tissue, collagen. And other vitamin C foods include citrus fruits. And put these citrus fruits in the refrigerator. They're not going to last very long if you just leave them out and set them out. A lot of people leave citrus fruits like oranges. They leave them out. They buy them at the store fresh, then they leave them out and let them go bad instead of putting them in the refrigerator and keeping them fresher longer. Use green veggies and bell peppers, they're loaded with vitamin C. Berries are also a great source of antioxidants that fight free radical damage. One of the causes of increased injuries into older people is that they don't get enough antioxidants to fight off the free radical damage that is coming with old age. A pineapple is another great fruit. Because it supplies bromelain, and the bromelain, that's the center of the pineapple. That's gonna give you all the digestive bromelain, which also fights inflammation. Bromelain fights inflammation. That's why pineapple is so great. But it's not the outside of the pineapple. It's not the fruit so much of it. It's the core. The core of the pineapple is the bromelain, and that's the compound that's great for treating swelling and injuries. Go ahead.
You're kidding me. I have always taken the core of a pineapple and sliced it thin and just chewed on it.
Yeah.
And I had no idea why.
There you go. See?
Wow.
Well, hey, Paul and the doggies, they're led to the right thing. Like the doggies know what grass, and they're looking for their favorite couch grass, but they'll chew on just about any kind of grass because it helps digestive problems, and that's why they're chewing on it. A dog will chew on grass because they've got digestive problems. And Paul, you're chewing on that pineapple because it's helping your inflammation.
Wow. Well, unless the pineapple's genetically modified. A lot of them are.
This is true. and even the pineapples now these days, wow. You think that a pineapple tree, they leave it alone, but no.
There is, we're not mentioning any trade names or company names here, but there is a golden variety of pineapple that is genetically modified to beat the band.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Which is, it's really a sad thing about our food chain that we've got so many people attacking the water, the air, the food. It's just, we've got senators that are trying to pass laws that you can't have this much vitamin, you can't have that much vitamin. What's wrong with these people, Paul?
They're soft in the head.
Codex Alimentarius, it's called. Paul's familiar with it. It's called Codex Alimentarius. They're going to take over control where you won't get more than 50 milligrams of vitamin C a day.
Yeah.
They do not want the supplements in competition with their pharmaceutical nonsense, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Their only answer is sorcery. Every one of their formulas, everything they make has side effects that are not good, and people do not read the side effects. Even if they do, they use it for years because they didn't know you could do anything else, and then they forget what they are and end up with all those side effects. Because if it says it has side effects, every one of those subscriptions are doing that to you because you're actually subscribing to those prescriptions.
Yeah.
You default and end up taking them. They're all toxic. They all have harmful side effects, and you're defiling the temple of God. The body's a temple because it houses the highest, holiest experience of this life. And by taking poisons and not reading the labels everywhere, we're ignorantly defiling the temple. And what do you expect? Every type of dis-ease, lack of ease, stress, or tension on the body will pop up.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to give you a recipe.
Well, just make sure that it's safe for YouTube because we're on 5 different YouTube channels.
1 second for the
Okay.
recipe. It's when you take a whole head of lettuce, romaine, say a giant head of romaine lettuce,
Organic,
and you take it. Now, it took me 40 years when my friend told me that he was a vegan vegetarian. And 40 years later, I finally did it. So, and I can get him on the phone. I have a lot of friends. Okay, anyway.
Okay. The recipe.
You stick it in the blender. with ice water and sweeten it with dates. It's the greatest summer drink. I could not believe how refreshing and delicious it is. And it gives you so much of the nutrition you need. Now, as far as protein and amino acids, you struck a chord the minute you said it. Spirulina is the #1 source of protein and has the highest 18 amino acids in high proportion. It's 65 to 71% protein, of which 95% of it will digest in your blood with the help of papaya enzyme or my magozone. And it gets it right into the blood where you feel it. It is brain food. It is cell food. It makes your skin clear, your eyelids clear, your hair. It grows everything better. Believe me, I've been using it since 19.
Yes, that's why super green foods with the spirulina, barley grass, wheatgrass, alfalfa powder, olive leaf extract, seaweed in it. Those kinds of things are the superfoods, and we need to get plenty of those.
And when you're dying, only take the superfoods. When a person is dying and they're not eating much,
yeah,
the only thing you want to get into them, because I'm working with people right now, okay,
yeah,
and that they're getting in the superfoods and they're going to live. They're hydrating properly.
And that's that Truman special 5 with that 90 plate.
What do we got here? Huh?
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Okay.
That is exactly what everybody needs, and a
yes.
lot more of it.
Yes.
Food is not as important as the superfoods. They just don't know it.
Okay. Let's move on now to high potassium and magnesium foods. High potassium and magnesium foods.
Is 2 hours before dinner. Do not mix your fiber powder with all your life.
Who is that?
Don't do that.
We got a feedback. That's interesting. Where's that coming from?
That's coming from someone.
Okay.
I think it's
All
coming
right.
from Edward. We got
it. Okay. Thank you. So we're talking about how to really get rid of inflammation. High potassium and magnesium foods got to be in there. Potassium-rich foods like coconut water, avocados, greens, and bananas can speed healing. Those are potassium-rich foods. Magnesium is found in these same foods, and they're also important for muscle recovery. Because when you're healing here, muscle recovery is important, and healthy circulation. These are your potassium-rich foods, and that are loaded also with magnesium. Then we get into bone broth. Now, bone broth naturally contains collagen, which is beneficial for healing tendons, since it's actually what helps develop and form tissue within the body. That's right. It's actually helps to develop and form tissue within the body, this collagen. So not only is it useful for tendinitis cases,
and where to get it,
but it can also aid in recovery from sprains and strains and ligament injuries. On the other hand, these foods can increase. Let's take a look at foods that will increase inflammation and make tendinitis worse. What will make it worse is alcohol and caffeine. And alcohol can
I
prolong.
think that's coming from you, Truman.
How's it getting here, though?
It has IgM bark.
I got it turned off now. It's coming. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, I had to. It was backing out through and coming through the microphone that's open on dial pad meetings, and oh yeah, I see over here, and somehow I
Get something on autoplay.
There we go. Now
Okay, well,
Now,
while you're sorting that out, let me go through
get
alcohol
sorted.
and caffeine, two
Yeah.
substances very close to my heart. Alcohol can prolong inflammation and promote bone loss, as can caffeine that contains certain compounds that bind to calcium. We need calcium to help heal tissue that's been damaged. So this can stall your body from properly repairing itself. So avoid caffeine overdose and limit alcohol consumption. Wow, I'm doing it all wrong.
Somebody asked about bone broth. I made it. I asked somebody when I had a sciatica, and it was very serious. The pain was stabbing me. My intestines were having a serious problem. I caused it myself. Yes, I did it myself. But I had somebody go to Whole Foods because they didn't have it at Sprouts, and they got me a large bone from the cow. I just wanted the bone, and you can ask the butcher and get the bone. Then you boil it for 8 hours. You boil the marrow out, and you drink all that boiled water, the marrow that comes out on a very low flame. You boil it. But there are other ways. But that's what I was taught to do, and that's what I did, and it worked beautifully.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, the last time I made bone broth, I took like 3 half-inch thick, good-sized bones, and I boiled them in water, simmered them for about an hour or two, and then that was it. I mean, there was nothing left but bones and broth. So, worked
Well, this
slick.
is a big bone in a big pot, and you have to boil it. You're supposed to boil it for 8 hours and get it all out.
Well, I used really thin bones. They were only a half-inch thick. They were the leg
Oh,
bone
no,
like cut.
These were huge bones. No,
Yeah.
no, this was a huge bone.
Okay, well, back to it.
Yes. So, so we're really, we really got down to it. We're almost done with that. But we talked about alcohol and caffeine, so you want to avoid overdosing with those kinds of things, and even too much sodium, too much salt, found in nearly all packaged foods, counteracts the potassium. If you get too much salt, you're counteracting the potassium that you need for those muscles, and too much salt contributes to the loss of important nutrients from your body that are needed to facilitate the healing process. So avoid high sodium foods as much as possible. And if you're going to use some salt, you get some Himalayan pink salt. The reason it's pink, it's high in iron. That's especially good for the ladies or anybody who has a problem with anemia. That's right, Himalayan pink salt. It's got lots of minerals in it. Now, sugar addiction and the sugar and refined grains. Sugar and refined grains. Well, high levels of added sugar can decrease immune function, slow down wound healing, and increase inflammation. Not to mention contribute to unwanted weight gain, which can make tendinitis symptoms worse, and other inflammatory issues worse. That means you want to kick that sugar addiction. There are other things that you can use, such as the herb stevia, which is sweeter than sugar. And there are safe, natural ways to sweeten things if you must have more sweetness.
One thing I want to interject, stevia will help stimulate the pancreas. So for diabetics, it can be an excellent way of enjoying your sweets with your cocoa powder that lowers your blood pressure in a nice big mug, and stevia satisfies your need for that deliciousness that you crave.
Yes. So then there are a lot of people who are fighting sugar addiction. So let's find some natural solutions to that. so that you don't have a weak immune system.
One of them is spirulina. The spirulina tells the brain that you're satisfied with the protein, and it drops your craving for sugar tremendously.
There you go. That's a that's a good thing to know as well. They're hydrogenated oils and fried foods, just like with sugar. Refined oils are found in processed foods and are known to cause inflammation, since they are a source of pro-inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids. So when we're talking about tendinitis, we're really talking about inflammation. And so, we talked about the veggies and the fruits, and we talked about all those things. And when there is inflammation, don't forget to try to use an ice pack. Icing painful areas can help to ease swelling, and it is an easy treatment method you can try at home. Don't just try to put the ice cubes right straight on your skin. Wrap them, put them in a plastic bag. Wrap that towel around that plastic bag, so you've got a buffer, and so you're getting the coldness, but you're not getting ice right on your skin. That's not going to be comfortable. But it's especially important in the first day or two of follow. You want it as soon as possible, and not more than a couple of days. I mean, you're waiting too long. You want to catch it the first day, even the first few minutes, to reduce the swelling. When you notice swelling developing, that's when you reach for an ice pack, and to lower the inflammation symptoms by placing one on a barrier first, not directly on your skin. We said that, such as a piece of clothing, or a paper towel or a dish towel, anything. So you got a barrier between you and your skin, and that ice. Now, and then you're holding it up. You're holding if it's an arm, you hold it up, so that or you're holding it. You're holding this ice. You're holding the ice right on the area and icing and making sure it's getting that cold, that coldness. A lot of people like to simply use a bag of ice cubes or frozen vegetables. A matter of fact, frozen peas will, if you put it on an elbow, it will then contour itself all around an elbow or a knee. So frozen peas is really a better than ice cubes in many cases. And we're talking about 15 to 20 minutes at a time. And don't leave it on there for an hour. You'll burn. Then you can burn the skin. So 15 to 20 minutes on, 15 to 20 minutes off, and you can practice icing up to several times a day, or until you notice a decrease in pain. And sometimes you might consider wearing a splint or a brace to prop up that limb, or for example, or if that's possible. And isolating the tendon that's inflamed helps to reduce swelling, and it supports healing in the damaged tissues. So you want to talk to your health practitioner about alternative treatments, especially when you need some of the ways that orthopedics treat tendinitis. They include prescription, over-the-counter painkillers. Usually for mild pain, they use ibuprofen and taken now and then can help. But that's not a good idea. But that's what they do, because they don't know about these natural remedies. All they know about is ibuprofen, and ibuprofen is the worst of a bad thing. If you're going to use something like some kind of an anti-inflammatory pain reliever like that, you might want to use acetaminophen. because it's safer. It's also,
Acetaminophen is not, if you read the container, it's very bad for us. All of those. There's a much better.
there's none good. But
Aleve. No, there's
Yep.
no buts. There are things that
they're
work
all bad.
better.
I'm not butting. I'm saying that none of them are good.
Right. So you want to use a cannabis product that works, not just any kind, something that works properly.
Absolutely.
CBD, if you get the right product, you can that'll help a lot.
Yeah,
Yes.
but not all CBD is created equal.
That's a fact.
This is
That's why I
true, too.
said the right product.
That's
Yeah.
right. So, yeah, and there are many things that can help. Physical therapy. Some people choose to try physical therapy for tendon injuries like tendinitis and various inflammatory issues, which involves seeing a specialist who works with you to prescribe special isolated movements. Physical therapists can be helpful in certain situations. A goal of physical therapy is to slowly start stretching the injured tendon in a controlled manner while increasing flexibility and strengthen the supporting muscles. And you got to support those muscles around the tendon. And chiropractic treatments can be valuable. Either a trained chiropractor or physical therapist can assess your posture and give you tips for performing certain activities in a safer way. Your chiropractor could be your newest antioxidant because the research benefits of chiropractic adjustments are plentiful. For example, if you regularly do work that involves standing and moving, or you're experiencing pain when exercising, both professionals can show you helpful techniques. They can show you helpful techniques related to stretching, flexibility, and proper posture to lower the chance of injuries. And of course, doctors are going to use things like corticosteroid injections. Corticosteroid injections. Sometimes a doctor might recommend that a patient gets steroid injections to help quickly reduce pain and swelling. Generally, this isn't good. This isn't a good method for preventing or treating tendinitis long term. But there are times that people do this to get a quick fix, and when the injury is severe enough. And injections do come along with some side effects, sometimes like changes in skin color, weakening of the tendon, and causing increased swelling. Most people need to wait 6 weeks or more between injections. So in this time period, it's important to focus on solving the problem by addressing other factors like rest and your diet.
Yeah,
And
couldn't you consider steroid injections kind of like a trauma-based treatment? I mean, the real calling card and the real super value of doctors and allopathic medicine in general is trauma and emergency medicine.
Yes.
And steroid injections are along that line. There's something that'll help you immediately, but they don't work long term.
That's right.
So
absolutely correct.
What are those other injections they give you in your spine that cost $5,000 that they were giving to Diane?
I don't know.
It's everybody. They give it to everybody if they have insurance. And they got an insurance claim. They'll bring up the bill with
epidural. Yeah,
it could have been. I know it cost $5,000 for that stuff on the billing anyway. That's how they make money and collect insurance. If you don't get surgery, you don't get paid on those accidents. They almost make it mandatory. You have to get surgery to get paid. But I will tell you this: all itises, tendinitis, that's an inflammation.
Yes.
And the way I handle things like that is different than the way they suggest or do, except for the part, of course, sugar is definitely an inflammatory. All of that stuff is true. I would definitely, sometimes you ice it and heat it. It depends, but I would pack it in bentonite clay to get rid of the inflammation if it's long term. I would use the clay baths if there's some serious problem. It relaxes all the muscles and helps pull the toxins out so it can heal a lot quicker of so many things if you heat up the bath and put the clay in the water and get in it. When you wrap the clay, for instance, Tina, somebody who's been listening to your shows for years and wanted me to talk to you, had a spur on the bottom of her foot. And she said, well, the doctor wants to operate on me and I'll be at a commission for 6 to 8 weeks. I said, nonsense. Just like I said to all my other friends who told me the same things. Just bag your feet with the clay and watch how it works. And she knows how to take care of it now. Everybody, once they learn, you learn for the rest of your life. So everything that people are learning here, they're going to know these things for the rest of your life. And basically, when I use the acupuncture patches, I can take anybody that has a pain like that, as long as they're not on ibuprofen or acetaminophen or Aleve or any of that stuff that interferes with the meridians and the frequencies of the body, okay? Then I can use those and they'll work every time, and the pain just diminishes exceedingly down from a 10, wherever it's at, down to a 2 or 3 would be very happy for anybody. However, I seem to hit 0 a lot of the times, and I do this over the phone. I've patched up people, I call it patching up, that were hit by tractor trailers and they were out of pain. Everybody's mind was blown, and I did that in St. Louis over the phone.
Excellent.
They already had the devices there. I just taught them how to use them over the phone.
I want to circle back on the bentonite clay a little bit, the bentonite clay wrap. Is it helpful to put a bentonite paste? Is it helpful to put a bentonite paste on there, cover it with a plastic wrap, and then warm the outside of the wrap with like a hair dryer?
No, I would do it. You have the right idea. Yes and no. You want to, after you put the cellophane on and you build up the clay to 3/8 of an inch with some gauze if you have to, because you want it thick all the way around. Whatever you're putting it to, whether it's a tumor you're pulling out or whether it is, stage 4 pancreas that's got cancer in it, and you want to pull that inflammation and reoxygenate the area. So when you put the cellophane on, put something around the cellophane like an ace bandage. I have every size bandage you can imagine, or a towel, a hand towel, and pin it just to hold it in place. Then add a heating pad to it, not a hairdryer necessarily.
Okay. Well,
I think if you use, go ahead.
So just to be clear, you wrap cellophane around the leg, you pack that with clay and gauze.
No, you extend your leg, you put a towel underneath it, a hand towel with cellophane over it, and then you pack the clay on the skin. If you can't get it thick enough, and it has to be 2 to 1, 2 parts water to 1 part clay, so it gels thick for pulties. You're looking to pull things out of the body.
Okay. So that's where I was fuzzy, because the way you were mentioning it, the cellophane is naturally go from the leg out, or the wound out, but that's not the thing. You cover it with a towel.
If it's a burn, an open wound, diabetic ulcers where they need to amputate, you just pack the clay on and wrap it. Wrap it with cellophane. It has to stay wet the entire time it's on, because it works only when it's wet, the clay.
Okay.
And when it dries, it's finished anytime anyway. And then just kind of keep it in place with an ace bandage. It doesn't have to be super tight, but you want to leave it on for 12 hours at a time, then let it air out. The skin will be wrinkled like it'd been soaking in water for a week every time. and you let it air out and do it again and again until you pull all that disease out of that body, whatever part of the body you want.
Okay.
Whether it's
And then you wrap that with a heating pad on low.
Yeah, then you can apply a heating pad to that. You don't have to, but you can. Now keep in mind, let's say it was a serious burn and they burned off all their skin. Now you pack the clay on and you don't have to add a heating pad, but it will naturally cool the skin 2 degrees. It will bring it down 2 degrees lower than whatever it's touching. They use clay in offshore drilling rigs to cool them down. Not this clay, but this will take away all the pain from the worst burns, and you will not need skin grafts. It will fix all your burns, and you'll see by the next day, if it was already blistered and big, the only thing it'll leave is a lighter color skin in the exact same shape that looks like it needs a suntan. That blister will become one with your skin. It'll be gone. It'll have resealed. The layer of skin will be sealed over again.
Okay, we're almost running out of time here. We're running toward the end of the show, so let's try and keep our answers and our comments short. Okay, and we left off with corticosteroid injections, and the next one is extracorporeal shock wave therapy. That sounds actually terrifying.
Yes, actually, there's again, we're looking at the various modalities that we can use, and of course all the interesting modalities that Edward has as well, and where we're ending up with this tendinitis is, and we talked about using ice packs, splints, braces, making sure you're talking and to your practitioners, or maybe some orthopedic practice, chiropractics may come into place. But the key here is to all of these things are available. And since we are now coming close to the top of the hour, I need to make sure that if anyone else has any other question, Angela or Carissa, anybody have anything else that we need to cover before we come to the top of the hour?
We can go a little long if we want to, because we've only been on for actually an hour and 45 minutes.
Okay, so we're gonna actually run over today to make up for the time difference, and but that being said, does anyone else have a question, a topic, or a suggestion? How about over there in Toronto? Do you have a question, a topic, or a suggestion in the folks over there on dial pad meetings? Or over here, I don't see anybody. There's a hand up, or no, there isn't. So that being said, let's pick something else here that we can share with you. And
One small question, Dr. Berst.
yes, go ahead.
It's me again. Going back to the shoulder issue, it was said to be degenerative. And so then there's a lot of cracking noises. Now, would that be as a result of less synovial fluid, that the shoulder needs to have synovial fluid replaced, or? Well,
yes, there's going to be lack of circulation, lack of synovial membrane fluid, and just lots of inflammation, restricting everything happening. And all of those things have to be addressed, and which, especially with this tendinitis thing, we got into that pretty deep. And I'll be glad to send you a copy of that report, by the way. Anybody who needs a copy of any of this information that we are sharing, please email Truman@herbalhealthreview.com. Truman@herbalhealthreview.com. Anything that you want us to research, let us know. Okay.
I'd like to ask her a question about the shoulder.
Yes, good.
Is he able to move his shoulder in all positions? Can he put it straight up above his head, for instance, his hand?
No.
Okay, so it's similar to Diane's, okay? What I'm going to do, I want you to take the ice wave and put one on the side of his shoulder and one on the bottom of his skull, and watch. I'm already sure it's going to work.
Ice? What do you mean? Ice bag?
No. This is a frequency it's a little tiny frequency device that David Schmidt developed, and he markets them all over the world. He actually sold over $3 billion worth already. And these devices are acupuncture without needles. I actually introduced this to acupuncture doctors, and it really amazes them that this works the way it does so simply. So yeah, it's going to work, and it's a very insignificant application. But when it works, then you're going to say, "Oh my gosh, I'm out of pain." Does that mean that it fixed the whole thing? No. It'll immediately turn off the inflammation to the brain on the meridian. That's how it works every time.
Okay. All right. So where do I get it, and what do I call it?
You just ask. Well, those particular ones have eyes on them, and they're called Ice Wave. They're no problem. We'll have you try it, and it costs very little. Okay, just I'm glad I listened to what you said and asked you some questions. I'm pretty sure that you're going to have like instantaneous, within seconds to a minute or two, the results just from putting them exactly where I tell you to.
Okay, he's had physical therapy already. All right, so now please tell me exactly. I need to know how to spell it, how to pronounce it, where to get it.
No, just ask Dr. Truman.
Oh, okay. Will do. Now, Dr. Truman, I'll send you a request for that report also, and then reminder.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
One thing you can also, it won't. Those will not be on any website. But if you want to learn about the clay, you want to learn for yourself. You want to be able to read testimonials. I don't need to speak them all. You'll learn when a person has a broken back. The girl asked him, "Don't get the surgery. Let me fix it." And she used a clay to fix it. And you can read the testimonial, okay, on all different subjects. So that's fun, and that helps.
It sounds like you have to buy a whole truckload of this clay, do you?
Well, I do, but you don't, okay? That's funny, because that's exactly what I have to do. I can only get it in huge amounts. You don't have to take it like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had some clay with something that I got from Dr. Berst, and I put it on a sore. But I guess maybe I didn't leave it on long enough. I mixed it with water and put it on a sore, but I only kept it on for a few hours.
You have to gel the clay for 6 to 12 hours before you even use it. And then when you use it, you have to use it in the proper manner. And when you do, you'll have the exact results. When Robert shot his hand and it was burst open, bleeding profusely, I had remembered something in a video that the government stopped from running years ago. And it said something about it coagulated when you use the powdered clay. So I ran upstairs and got both. The blood was spurting out of his hand. It was 1.5 inches high, swollen, and he stood a head taller than me. When I put that powder on, it became rock hard. The bleeding stopped. And I put a baseball size of that clay on and wrapped it in an ace bandage. I didn't know about no cellophane then. And I told him, "Don't take it off till tomorrow," just like I'm telling you. I ordered him not to take it off. He come in the warehouse in the morning. I ended up paying. We washed it off, took it off, and it was flat as a board, no swelling, no bleeding. The skin looked like it was soaking in water for a week or a month. I said, "You know what? Let it air out." By that night, I had paid him to feather dust instead of painting the signs on my truck. He feather dusted all day and let his hand sit up, high up and air out. I made him do it 4 days in a row. It healed with no sign it ever existed. No antibiotics, no stitches, no scab, no scar. And 3 months later, I was standing in his kitchen and he pulls this Derringer out of his drawer. And he said, "This is what happened," because he wouldn't tell me that night why it was so bad and spurting blood out. He said I had my hand on the muzzle when the gun went off.
Wow. Well, see, that's the thing about bentonite clay. I mean, people know that you have to mix it with water and make a poultice out of it, but they don't know that you should use distilled water to make that poultice, because trust me, there's plenty of minerals in the bentonite clay already. There's plenty. And you let that poultice soak, and you let it kind of gelatinously form itself into herbal and natural goodness. Then you pack that on. People, I think, they're afraid to mix too much water with something that's supposed to be drawing things out of the body. They think it's going to hurt. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Oh, I want to tell you one more thing. Everybody, I know ladies absolutely love it, but so do men. You do it 3 parts water to 1 part clay, and you do a facial. You will be in love with this clay the first time anybody does a facial with a convex mirror before and afterwards, because only you know everything that's wrong with your own face. Everybody knows what anybody else can't see. And when you see that it took all the wrinkles out and made your face, depending on your age, drop 10 to 20 years in one application every time, that's it. It's love at first sight.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So
where can we go next, Doc?
Well, it's very interesting because I brought up a different screen on my main screen, but we still got the old screen over
what
here.
I'm seeing is Alliance for Natural Health.
Yeah, that you're seeing the folklore and history, and M. Eason is thinking it's okay to call me, but it isn't, because I can't talk. I can't answer the phone, or I'll lose the audio. So I can't answer the phone. But anyway, that's still the old. You still got a screen that is no longer up on my main screen.
It's the screen to your left. That's the one that we can see. The Alliance, your left, your other left.
No, my left screen. I closed that screen that is over here on the right. I closed that about 20 minutes ago, and I brought up another screen here to bring, and I minimized that, so it's gone.
Okay,
it's not
turn your head to the left. Wait, don't click on anything. Turn your head to the left. You see that screen? You see what you see there? That's what we can see. So if you want to show us something else, drag it from the monitor you're looking at right now over to the screen that we can see.
Okay, if I did, then let's see if that works.
You need to go on the other monitor and drag the other monitor over to the left. Go from the right to left.
Okay, that's the whole, but that's huge. It isn't small. It's like huge. So
you just dragged it part way.
Yeah, even if I drag the whole thing over there, it's huge. It takes up the whole screen.
That's now all we see is your desktop. So if you were trying to show us something else,
there's okay. Now, do you see Alliance for Health?
Yes.
An article regarding because what I'm seeing on my screen.
Yes, we see it.
You're seeing it. Well, okay.
Yeah, we've been seeing it.
Guess what? The old screen is stuck on my screen, and I'm not seeing what you're seeing. So that's what confused me. How about that?
Well, if you look left, you'll see exactly what we're seeing. Left.
That's not
your other left.
I'm sorry, that's not true.
Is your camera set up backwards? Is your video reversed?
I have no idea. All I know is I changed screens, but it didn't change screens over here on the right.
Okay. All right. Well, we can see Alliance for Natural Health, so scroll through that or whatever you need to.
Yeah, good, because it's a great article. It's a brand new article. It's like days old, and it's talking about the fact that they've written many times about chronic disease epidemic, that is ravaging this country.
And it's worse now than ever because of those shots that people took.
Yeah.
It's causing extreme advanced cancers.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
What's happening is
Yeah,
people are coming down with every kind of disease.
Yeah, but we
Extreme.
don't talk much about that. Otherwise, we get booted off of YouTube.
Right. So we don't talk about that.
And those kind of people need our help the most.
So what I'm trying to get to here is a recent article written by Alliance for Natural Health about chronic disease epidemic that's ravaging this country. But did you know that of the 10 leading causes of death in the U.S., chronic low-level inflammation contributes to the development of 7 of those diseases: heart disease, cancer, respiratory disease, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, and nephritis. Low-grade inflammation isn't something a conventional doctor will discuss with you, but having it is like a ticking time bomb for your health. Inflammation is linked with immune function. When your body encounters a pathogen, the immune system it sends out inflammatory cells to attack the pathogen or heal the damaged tissue. In these situations, like a sore throat, you experience the classic symptoms of inflammation, redness, swelling, heat, pain, and loss of function. This is acute inflammation and is healthy and normal. What isn't healthy, but becoming all too normal, is when your body sends out inflammatory cells when you're not sick or injured. Symptoms of chronic inflammation may include body pain, chronic fatigue, depression, anxiety, or other mood disorders, gastrointestinal complications, or even frequent injections, or frequent infections. This chronic inflammation is the commonality between many chronic diseases. But the problem is that the inflammation is not something that is generally tracked by mainstream healthcare providers until it's too late. For example, to meet the criteria for a diagnosis for Addison's disease, an autoimmune condition, or 90% of your adrenal gland has to be damaged. That's right. To meet the criteria for a diagnosis for Addison's disease, an autoimmune condition, 90% of your adrenal gland has to be damaged. But it's not just Addison's disease or other autoimmune conditions. Conventional doctors are missing the chronic inflammation that leads to heart disease, diabetes, respiratory disease, Alzheimer's disease, and a lot more. Conventional medicine also fails to recognize the spectrum of inflammation and disease. Some people may have silent inflammation, where lab tests show some signs of high antibodies circulating in your blood, but there are no symptoms. Other patients higher on the inflammation spectrum don't feel well and have some symptoms, but they don't fit the standardized criteria for a disease. It is only when symptoms progress that conventional doctors start treatment. Not only do these treatments not address the root cause of the inflammation that leads to the disease, doctors miss an opportunity to detect and address the inflammation far earlier. This is the conventional model. And wait, the conventional model is wait until the disease progresses to a stage where expensive and dangerous drugs are given rather than acting earlier to prevent the disease from progressing further with diet, lifestyle changes, and supplementation with targeted nutrients. A number of factors can lead to chronic inflammation. Exposure to environmental chemicals causes mitochondrial dysfunction and inflammation. When mitochondria aren't functioning properly, more free radicals are produced, which cause inflammation in the body. So it's exposures. Then there's stress. Stress, inflammation is the body's response to a threat, whether it's a pathogen or an emotional stressor. In this state, the immune system sends out pro-inflammatory cytokines to deal with the threat. These cytokines usually deal with the invader, then disappear. But when stress is chronic, they don't go away. Prolonged stress means we are overexposed to the stress hormone cortisol, reducing its effectiveness at regulating inflammation. Well, we're 15 minutes over the top, and so that means we must be right about on target. Is that right, Paul?
Yeah, pretty much. Let's rocket through some of the rest of these. Prolonged stress is a problem, and it is circumventing cortisol's effectiveness on regulating inflammation. Poor sleep deprivation is almost necessary these days, but it's really important to get as much sleep as you can. If you have a sedentary lifestyle, get out, walk around. If you've got to go to Walgreens a couple of blocks away, don't bother bringing the car. Just walk it. It's fine, and the kids will enjoy it. Periodontal disease is another factor that can cause system-wide inflammation. Diet, another important cause. The standard American diet, high in ultra-processed foods, sugar, and starch, promotes inflammation. 60% of the calories of the typical American diet come from ultra-processed foods. Related to diet, dysregulated gut also promotes inflammation. 70% of our immune system resides there. Silent infections. Many people have an infection but don't have any symptoms, as we've seen with the CV jab. But as discussed as above, without symptoms, the body can be on the inflammation spectrum. Long-standing physical injuries, we can see the effects of inflammation when we have a physical injury. Inflammation bad. Okay, yeah. Healthy diet.
One more thing. Diet sodas have aspartame, excessive flame in there, and it causes inflammation of the brain, puts weight on people, and they're still drinking it. It causes birth defects. It causes, what is it called when children from the vaccines? Autism. Yes, they just uncovered a study 30 years after Rumsfeld okayed it, and that was after they turned it down at the FDA 7 times. He put 2 more people on the board of directors, and they okayed it, and he got the position at the company for $2.2 million as the head of the company when he got it passed. Okay. And it caused, 30 years later, it caused a lot of birth defects. From 9 months after it came to the market, they got all the evidence now.
Okay, and so we're talking about aspartame. Aspartame fools the body into thinking that it got sugar, so it ramps up insulin levels to deal with it, and it gets ready to turn that sugar into fuel, but then it finds out that it didn't actually get sugar, and now it's caused it's caused the body's blood sugar levels to crash, because it didn't get the sugar it was expecting. Artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners, universally bad. If they're on the ingredient list, put it back on the shelf.
And that being said, we've come to the top of the hour, and let's have a closing prayer.
Before we do the play, I want to let everybody know the website.
Hello?
'Cause I never
Oh,
gave
please do that. Let's do that. Let's get that. Go
They
ahead.
can write it down if they
Hello,
want.
hello.
And they could sign up for the newsletter. It's diseaseaway.com.
Diseaseaway.com. Okay, now we had somebody jump in there trying to say something.
Yeah, that's me, Milton. I've been trying to get on the show for a while. I was on your old screen, Dr. Truman, so I saw what you were talking about. I was trying to call you, but I figured it out now. I just like to say that the mag ozone that I ordered from Edward, it's been helping me out. It really works. I've been having problems with bowel movements here and there, not using the washroom every day. Now I took it and I use it like twice, 3 times a day, and it just comes right out. All the inflammation is gone. My back pain is gone, and the thing works. And the clay works too. But the Mago Zone is my favorite right now. It really does work.
That's
But I think you said originally the clay is what first got rid of your back pain, which I was pretty smitten when you said that.
Well, yeah. I only used it once. I wrapped it once and it worked. But I don't know. Since I've started using the washroom, having more bowel movements, everything feels 100%. I haven't felt like this in a very long time.
That's the key to life. Oh
Yeah.
my God. When your bowels get clogged up, all disease fester and continues.
Yeah,
And
any
it just
like
ruins
odor,
your day.
yeah, yeah, any like odor or body odor or anything like that, I suggest the clay and the mag ozone, and that will be gone. All that's gone. Everything is gone. So it does work.
Thank you.
Along with the purification kit from Dr. Truman, that also works. The diatomaceous earth and all that stuff works too.
yes.
Oh,
Me too.
diatomaceous earth. I
Yeah.
think of it like this. Dia is like dia in Spanish, and tomato. Diatomato earth.
Right.
Okay.
But it's diatomaceous. You have to remember it somehow.
Okay.
Right.
Doc
Right, that's
Truman, take us out with a prayer, will you please?
All right. Let's before that, Edward, let people know that it was diseaseaway.com as how to reach him, and how to reach me is Truman at herbalhealthreview.com. The website is herbalhealthreview.com, and my telephone number is 503-362-5899. And we'll go to a prayer here, King James Version of the Bible, Leviticus 10. And we'll go to verse 8. Priests are not to drink wine. And the Lord spake unto Aaron, saying, do not drink wine nor strong drink, thou nor thy sons with thee, when ye go into the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, that ye may put difference between holy and unholy, and between unclean and clean, and that ye may teach the children that hath spoken unto them by the hand of Moses. And Moses spake unto Aaron and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar, his sons that were left. Take the meat offering that remaineth of the offerings of the Lord, made by fire, and eat it without leaven beside the altar, for it is most holy. And ye shall eat it in the holy place, because it is thy due and thy sons' due of the sacrifices of the Lord made by fire. For so I am commanded. And the wave breast and heave shoulder. Ye eat in a clean place, thou and thy sons and thy daughters with thee, for they be thy due, and thy sons' due, which are given out of the sacrifices of peace offerings of the children of Israel. The heave shoulder and the wave breast shall they bring with the offerings made by fire of the fat to wave it for a wave offering before the Lord. And it shall be thine and thy sons with thee a statute forever, as the Lord hath commanded. All praises to the Most High. Let's open the microphones and all praise the Most High together. All praise the Most High.
And the dog too.
All praises to the Most High.
All praises to the Most High.
All praises to the Most High.
I want to thank everyone for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Truman.
And I also want to apologize for showing up late. So
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
thank you. This has been Herbal Health Review, discussions in health from herbalhealthreview.com. You can find out more information by emailing Truman at herbalhealthreview.com. You can call him at 503-362-5899. 503-362-5899. Until next time, I'm Paul from Global Voice Network. Thank you so much for joining us. We will catch you again.